How's it going, folks? Today we're reacting to the new Halo Infinite Season 2 news. The stream is about to begin in about 3 minutes. Might be slightly before, might be slightly after. But I'm excited. Less about the new. Let me turn the stream audio down real quick. Actually, less about the news itself. I'm just excited to see the new armor. If I'm being completely 100% honest, that's the main thing for me. I'm very hyped to see the new armor. Like the new armor cores, both look awesome from the little bits we've seen, and the new Mark 7 stuff looks great too. It's just crazy how the new armor core sort of looks like. It looks so unique, but so Halo-esque, that I'm probably going to end up preferring it more than the Mark 7. And then there's the Iron Eagle core, which is fine. I'm not hugely fussed. I mean, I'm excited for it to come out so I can unlock it. And I probably will use it now and again, but... I'm just excited to finally get some new Halo news. Oh, about 2 minutes. I love this, like... They usually just have, like, one of the trailers playing, but they've got this, like, sort of cutscene going on here in the background. It's kind of cool. I haven't seen this on one of the streams before. I wonder if these are going to be, like, things we see in the menu for Season 2. Sorry about that. It should start probably about any second now, I think. Music slaps, obviously. When doesn't Halo music slap? There we go. This is the Season 2 trailer again, isn't it? Just turn the volume down a bit, these things are really loud. It's a cool trailer though. May 3rd. Okay, now I can't hear it at all. Not seeing a lot of Midas action. Maybe they'll add a gold armor coating. Oh, I want some of the Tenrai collection stuff, I'll be honest. I've seen a lot of people get really mad about it. A lot of people seem to hate the event. Like, yeah, it was repetitive, but I think the Tenrai stuff's so cool. Oh. Oh no. Please don't. There we go. Why is it lagging? Okay. It's true. I am excited for season 2. Even if it's not adding loads, I am excited.
You know, a few weeks back, you spent a lot of time put together what we call season one kind of outcomes blogs, right? And quickly, we're not going to go through all those in detail today, but just kind of give us the quick
Actually, I had 10 right cap.
Yeah, we wouldn't want to do the full thing. I think it came out to like 36 pages on the Word docs. But yeah, some of the stuff we covered was focused on live, focused on multiplayer and game modes, and stuff like that. But overall, right now, outcomes, lots of improvements for season one or season two coming up. One we actually have that we can roll a tape. Oh yeah, this I mean we actually just found out. Yeah, quick backstory here is we were just looking at this build, which by the way, huge shout out to our team and the test team in particular. We've got our final candidate.
That's kind of cool.
For May 3rd, but looking at this video here yesterday in the studio, one of the
It's not anything massive, but I like that. I like how they give you the option of whether or not you want the outline.
the player outlines, right? Yep. And
You're still going to be able to tell what team they are because of the colour of the shield when you shoot them, aren't you? So,
season two, but
that kill effect though, what the hell was that?
all the way down to 0. So you can turn off outlines if you want on opponents. You can kind of get that more classic Halo look and feel if you want.
That's cool. I really like that as an option.
Like seeing the spot match, but anyone who does not have that is an enemy, so you want to shoot it.
I bet that kill effect's part of the battle pass, 100%.
I want to note this is just an iterative step, right? It's just about usability, but it's just one example of the types of feedback that we've heard and some steps the team is starting to take now to address that feedback. If you go to HaloWaypoint.com, you can check out, like John said, about 35 pages of editorial. But basically, each team that works on Halo Infinite goes through all the key feedback that we've passed along to them from the players, and they provide responses and generally let you know what you can expect and what they're going to go after and what they're going to do in the future. So, really good read there. Yeah, and we get that feedback from Reddit, Twitter, Waypoint, YouTube videos, surveys that we send out.
I wonder if 343 have ever watched my videos.
Everyone, so it's a really balanced approach, and all the teams know what is the community all up talking about, and we address that directly in those emails. And I'll just add one more note, something that you may recall Joseph mentioned in his blog last month. We are also working on one more public-facing resource that we hope to stand up in the near future. That'll essentially be a Trello board of sorts. If you were around during the MCC work, you're familiar with what I'm talking about. But we want to do a better job being a little more transparent and providing kind of a self-service resource. So ideally, at any given moment,
See, I think 343 are quite transparent when it comes to Infinite's development and like stuff with the game. It's just sometimes they tell us like a lot of useless information rather than the stuff that people actually want to know.
that we've heard all the feedback. It's all been taken to heart, and these things are already going to see coming on May 3rd. Other things are obviously going to be a little bit grander in scope. They're going to take a little more time, but I do want to just say thanks again to everyone who has stuck by and taken the time to give constructive feedback and input and building metaphors. So thank you. Well, John, let's talk about. Well, sorry, before we get into season two, just so folks are aware, we're going to talk quickly about season two. I'm going to be joined by Joseph Staten here, our head of creative. We're going to sit down, talk a little bit more about what we're doing this year, what you can look forward to in the year ahead, reflect on the roadmap that we shared last week. Also going to talk a little bit more about the new narrative aspects to our seasonal model and what you'll find when Locals launches next week.
I hope they talk about the shop a little bit.
Jerry caught up the other day, right? Yes, yeah. So we talked on Monday. We've got a recording of that for everyone, which you can see right there. Season 2 Battle Pass are already hooked. And then we're going to wrap it up, you and me again, talking a little bit about Kansas City and all the other things going on in the Halo franchise. Yeah, it's our basically since Rally, it's our first big major, and that kicks off in just a few days, so we're excited about that. So before we welcome Joseph and John, I thought it might be helpful let's just do a quick recap. Season 2 Lone Wolves coming next week. May 3rd is the start date. I believe we're looking at 11 a.m. Pacific time global release. We'll talk about that a bit more at the end of the show. We actually, I think, have a handy rollout map so you can see exactly what time season 2 will be live in your neck of the woods, right? Give us a quick rundown, John. A couple quick highlights. Season 2. Okay. Put you on the spot. What's the pitch? What do we got coming? 2 new maps. One arena, one big team. Both look amazing.
They do look amazing.
3 new modes. Last Spartan Standing. Kickoff and
That's cool. Okay, so there's an event straight away.
A later event in Trench, which is a lot of fun. And then we also have King of the Hill, King Returns.
Where's the Potter Among Us?
Classic one. When I've been looking
I look forward to the new modes. Last Spawn Standing sounds like it's going to be really fun.
so yeah.
It's probably going to drive me crazy though.
Lots of events, narrative events. I'm trying to think. Well, we have full on battle pass. Yeah, I forgot the thing I cover. Yeah, so here's a. I love this.
God, that looks so cool, man. I assume they might show a bit of gameplay soon. The yellow spawn, one of his shoulder pads actually look like Halo 4 and 5 Chief, which I think is kind of cool. I wonder if we're going to see a Halo 4 5 Chief helmet. Like the season 2 maps, both of them already look so much better than any of the other maps in the game right now. Not that any of the maps that are already in the game are bad. I don't mean that at all. Behemoth I think is really fun, depending on mode. But the 2 new maps just look great visually, and they look like they're going to be so fun to play on. It's probably because I'm so sick of the human scenery, which 7 arena maps, 6 of them are human maps, as far as I'm aware, and there's 1 4-on one, which is Behemoth. Big Team Battle, all 3 are set in grassy fields. It's just nice to have a bit of new scenery, so they just look so much better in comparison, due to the fact that they're different. But I'm looking forward to grinding the new Battle Pass. Like, the new arm looks sick. It's just, I am a bit tired of a lot of the maps. So I'm kind of worried about the fact there's only 2. Forge isn't coming out until the end of the season, so I kind of hope that they maybe drop a couple of Forge maps during the season as a part of events or something. Just so we don't get bored. But I mean, new content's new content. I haven't touched matchmaking properly in Infinite so long, so it'll be kind of cool to have a reason to play it again. Even if everyone on there is probably going to be way more sweaty than me. This map just looks great. I'm so curious to know what the layout of it is. Because it's obviously a 4v4 map, so it's not going to be that big, but a lot of the footage just like giving me the impression that it's massive. It does give me like serious Halo 3 vibes though. It's so cool seeing the Sentinels fly past. I was just about to say, oh, all equipment's on here, and then the grapple shot showed up, so it's not a question. There's a light bridge on there. It's just such an aesthetically pleasing map. I can't wait to see more of Breaker as well, though. Breaker's going to be so fun. See, I do really like that jumper. Oh, that sweat shirt, whatever you want to call it. It's just the Yuri helmet for me. It's just so cool.
Yeah, team fracture. Here we are. But I already said this earlier. But
Well, let me tell you how this went down, because I walked into the office this morning and they just like put the sweatshirt over my little body and pushed me to the roof. So
you're a walking billboard. That's how it works.
It is. It's very funky and it looks great. I really like it.
Yeah, you can of yourself at gear.xbox.com. That's right. Right. So Joseph, thank you for joining me. I feel like what was that late last year we did the live stream on Road to the Hub, right? We talked a little bit about a little different circumstances. If I recall, that was the conversation about how Forge and Co-op were not going to be ready for launch. So at some point we'll have to come through. We had no sort of caveats whatsoever. We'll just play the play date. We'll have you come on for season 2 play date. But I thought, why don't we kick things off, because it has been a bit. Also want to acknowledge that you've written 2 blogs as well since then for us. You had an April update, which we just put out with the roadmap. We'll get to that in a second, of course, and the March update as well. But same thing you did in March. I'm just going to start off by asking you, season 2 is locked and loaded. We got our final release candidate back. We're in great shape for May 3rd. What's the team working on right now?
First of all, I just want to say a big thank you to the team. Super proud of all the work that led up to season 2. It's been a real push since launch to get that ready. You're right. We have our release candidate. We're on track to launch. So just a big thank you to everybody who's been working so hard to get that out the door. I'm super excited. It's going to be a lot of fun. So in addition to shipping season 2, really working on is looking beyond that. Forge, co-op, and we'll talk a little bit more about that in a bit. We'll talk about quality of life. Really what we're doing is a lot of planning from now until the end of the year and beyond. And in fact, I spent all morning in a planning meeting. As soon as I pull off my 10 by sweatshirt and exit this room, I get put back into planning meetings for the rest of the day. The team is really working to lay down track, get good plans in place. And we'll talk a little bit more about the details of what that means later on. But that's really what we're doing to launch in season 2. We're heads down, working on what comes next.
Yeah, and I think something else I would. By the way, I forgot to mention you. That's what.
I just hope that during season 2, there's never a point where there's just a huge dry spell like there was in season 1, where there's just nothing new anywhere, no new content like to unlock. The Ultimate Rewards just for a period there just were terrible across the board, and there was nothing new coming to the shop. So I'm really hoping that we don't have a period like that.
Really articulated what our current priorities are right now with the team. You mentioned shipping season 2, which we basically checked that box off. So can you remind us kind of what are our high level priorities right now?
Well, yeah, so shipping season 2, and then it's going after things that are keeping the player experience or gameplay in our game right now. This really gets to quality of life, which I think we'll get some details about specifically. So hitting those issues that when you play the game impact your experience in a negative way. We want to make sure that we're prioritizing that work before we go after more content. Now, we'll talk more later about we're still going after more content, but as we work inside the studio to prioritize what people are working on the right things, that's our North Star. That's our number 1. Like, that is what we need to be focused on right now. So, and then, yeah, at the same time, we're focusing on running.
Let's see the game. I think if you have to gameplay, this is probably the wrong stream for you.
We want to make sure that our team is doing such awesome work.
They are showing off the Battle Pass soon, though. I think they're just talking about a lot of the changes that they'll be making first.
So that is our fundamental priority that we always keep in mind, even as we're pushing to improve the state of the game.
Absolutely. Maybe it'd be helpful right now, real quick. We have the roadmap graphics, so yeah, just pop that up.
This was rough. This was a rough roadmap.
Break this down here a little bit. We're not going to go through all these points because we're going to talk more about what's coming next week with season 2. But I think clearly the thing that we know jumped out the most to our community, which was expected, is
I want to know what the new sandbox items are. Is that new weapons?
I think it's safe to say it probably was a surprise to most people that season 2 will last longer than they expected.
Yeah.
Joseph, can you
Season 3 starts November
why are we
8th.
making this deliberate decision to essentially extend season 2? I also want to just acknowledge last year, well before launch, we had talked about, yes, at face value, our goal and our vision was the season would last approximately every 3 months or so. That's generally the norm, in the industry. We then realized that season, launching the game was going to be challenging
I should have delayed it again. I really do.
Really hurt the team.
I didn't want that, but it would have been so much better in the long run.
Some people were not expecting that we would also need to extend season 2 with some before we get into the next season. So just a little bit of context from you, I think, would be helpful there.
Well, one thing to make really clear, none of us inside of Freeport 3 look at this roadmap and are happy. All of us want to be doing things faster to deliver.
We might see some of the new game modes, but they did show them off in a trailer the other day. So I don't know if that's necessarily. I mean, I can't see why they wouldn't talk about them here, but so I'm glad they are prioritizing like bugs and stuff. Granted, the game should work at launch.
Rigorously go after these improvements that matter right now. You know, you and Uni just talked about the outlines, for example. It's one example of many, 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 many things that doesn't matter 3 months from now. It's a right now kind of thing. And so that's really how we're organizing ourselves to go after that work and why we're extending the season out. But again, to underline this, none of us looks at that and says, great, 6-month seasons are awesome. They're not. They're not. And we need to get ourselves in a position where we can deliver more frequently, and we're working on that too.
Absolutely. You know, I also just want to note that we discuss this a lot. You and I have talked about this. Like, just we knew this is going to be, to your point, not the roadmap we would like to put out if we could really do what we wanted to do. But it's also important that we still maintain some open, transparent discussion, and even if they're hard discussions, right? So, last thing we wanted to do was just sort of pull the rug out and surprise. Season 2 is now live, and it's now a shock to everyone. So, fully acknowledge it's not what people want to hear, but we're still committed to being open and honest about what's going on, and we want to get to the point, obviously, you mentioned, where we can really start to do a better job meeting player expectations, and we will get there. Let's talk a little about the
I hope season 3 isn't 6 months long. If season 3 is 6 months long, that is gonna stink, man.
where those pieces are. Like, how do we come up with that stack ranking list? Who decides, and where do these inputs come from to say these are the things we must go after?
Yeah. So there are a variety of inputs that we get. You know, one is just the team playing the game. You know, the truth is in the software. You sit down and you play, and there's the truth of the experience. So we play the game in our internal play tests. We also get insights through things like our competitive insights team, our pro players. We have user research that we use. We have telemetry that just comes out of the game that we take a look at. We do a lot of things to get data. We aggregate this data and we put it on something that internally we call the Loftus. And we track it, we prioritize it, and that's how we go after one body of work versus another. So part of quality of life is the internal quality of life that we need as a studio.
I was gonna do something,
Robust systems in place,
and now I can't remember what it was.
get them together in a list and go after them. And that's some of the work, but not all the work, of course, we've been doing since launch. That's making sure that we've got a good, rigorous process.
Oh man.
Plan about what we attack. We've had to go slower to get that process in place, but the whole point of going slower is so you can accelerate later. We're fast, the slow to get fast. And so I really feel like on the insights part of things, we're really getting up to speed in a great way. We well understand the work ahead of us. That's why, we had this awesome insight.
Volume is a little low.
So we have a
Right,
really
okay.
good sense of the body of work. We just
My
need to
bad.
get our heads down and go after it, which we are.
That should be
And I
better.
just
That
wanna
should be a bit
reiterate,
better.
too, we obviously have a really diverse 20-plus year franchise, global fan base, and it's important that we also acknowledge that different types of players and different people have different things that are more important and matter more to them, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
So, part of the studio's job is to how do we pull back from that and prioritize the most impactful changes that would ideally impact the broadest subset of players, right?
Yeah.
Which means some of the more fringe things that we know are still important may then have to take a lower priority, right? But
that's right.
doesn't mean we don't care.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I mean, the whole point of a prioritized list is to put everything on there that you could do, right? And then pick the things that matter
Yep.
most. But you're right, that doesn't mean that we don't care about certain things.
Yep.
That's not true.
Maybe let's talk about so we have these quality of life, we have all this information. Safe to say, I think we have
Yep.
plenty of feedback. No question about what we know we need to go do, right?
Yeah.
What are a couple examples off the top of your head of things that the team is actively sort of investigating and or working on right now?
Yeah.
Well, it's very kind of you to say off the top of my head, but because my head and my brain are getting
Or
older these
off your
days,
notes.
I
Yes.
actually brought some
Yes.
notes to make sure that I was very
It's smart,
specific
yep.
about these. And you told me it was like a newsroom sitch, so I
Yeah.
could just show up with my papers.
Sure.
All right.
We're loose here. It's fine.
All right, good. So, yeah, half kidding. This is on the top of my head. But yeah, when we talk about quality of life, stuff that we're going after that matters right now in the game, we think about things like anti-cheat. You know, and
Yeah,
that's
the
not a
anti-cheat needs
thing that we're
improving
going to
massively.
solve tomorrow or in 2 months or 3 months. This is an ongoing effort, quality of life that's going to continue. But we know there's some things that we need to dig into now, today.
SWAT is just a breeding ground for aimbotters.
The ranked experience is something that we also recognize is something that matters right now. And this includes like fundamental behind-the-scenes stuff that we need to do for ranked so that we can go after some of the ranked playlist issues that players feel right now in the game. So that's work that we're diving into. Network improvements around desync, as well as just the way the players report bugs. We just want to make sure that we've got a good handle on that. And then, of course, we're also going after big ticket, longer time frame items, things like Match XP, Spartan Career.
Yep.
Now, we can't today say definitively, well, this is where these things are going to land, but it's important to just acknowledge, look, we know these things, we're going after them. They might not show up on the roadmap right now, but that's because we want the roadmap to be a credible, reliable source of truth. And so there's work going on behind the scenes on these quality of life as well as many, many other things that we could talk about, including some of those internal studio, just the way we work, the way we organize ourselves.
I think the challenge system
quality of life that we're
kind of just needs completely
in our next
reevaluating.
segment, I believe
And I'm not the
Jerry
first
and
person to
Misha
say
can
that,
talk
but
a
you should
little
just be
bit
able to
more about
earn normal
specifically on
XP
the live side of the
as
game,
well
some
as do
things that
challenges.
they're focused on.
Challenges should just give you a
For
boost.
example, how do we diminish the core restrictions we have in place? Like we've heard loud and
Right.
clear, our players would like to be able to mix and match more content across more Spartan cores and have more customization agency, right? So that's another example.
Helmets at the bare minimum.
Heck, I would even note,
Please.
even the Season 2 Battle Pass today is a reflection of player feedback and changes that were made.
Yep.
Things like adding in credits, increasing the value. The free track has a lot more content, and Jerry and John will talk a little bit more about that when we're done here.
Yep.
So you also mentioned in your blog the way that we would deliver these quality of life updates would be via drop pods. What does that mean?
Drop pods. Well, so we wanted to pick a name that had resonance in the Halo universe. And if you think about an ODST drop pod, right, they're racked up in the belly of some UNSC ship. They're always ready to go. They're racked and they're waiting to drop. And that's how we approach the delivery. We want to approach the delivery of this content.
It is good to hear that we will be getting consistent updates, because again, that's something that Season 1 just didn't have.
And drop it. We want drop pods leaving the frigate or whatever it is, 343 on a regular basis. Our goal is to get into a monthly cadence of a drop pod a month. We're not there yet, but that's the goal. That's part of why we're taking time in Season 2 to go after this work. But just think about a drop pod as a delivery vehicle, content, features, bug
It'd be crazy if we get drop pods for like the first 2 months of Season 2 and then we just don't get one for the rest of the season.
If something's ready, it goes that month. We don't want to hold and wait until season boundaries. So again, this is the kind of stuff that doesn't show up in granular detail on the roadmap. But when you see the drop pod icon, when we say drop pods, just know that it's our way, ideally on a monthly basis, and we'll get up to speed to deliver content when it's ready. Content, features, bug fixes. It's just a vehicle to deliver that stuff to you.
Yeah, and also safe to say, as we hit these different kind of checkpoints along the way, the drop pod is staged. We're loading it.
That's right.
Once we know what's approved and cleared to drop, we will then be able to update our community and say, great
Probably for
news,
Big
here's
Team
what
Battle
we
to be
expect
broken
for this
another
month's
2
drop
months.
pod. But
What have I missed? Not much
it's a bit
yet.
of
They're just
a
talking about what they're
tip,
planning on
right? There's
doing.
things that are constantly
rather
shifting
than
around, so
what
it
is
your
getting
earlier point,
done.
We want to be credible and accurate.
It's like
so
the drop
it's not
pods, how
possible
they're going to be
today
the
to
monthly
say, "Here's what's in
updates.
drop pod 1, here's what's in drop pod 2." But that will be evolving, and we will
And talking about the
remain
stuff
committed to
that
make
is
sure we communicate that.
Planned
Just to
in the
give a little
future,
bit
but
of
they've
context
not
for
really
you,
got any real info on it yet.
If I were a community person hearing what you just said, I might go, well, wait, it's like you don't know what's going to go in the first drop pod? The reality is, talking about planning meetings that I just came out of, that's been the work of the team for some time now.
Yep.
Is figuring out, let's look at drop pod number 1, let's look at what we would want to put
It's
in
kind
there,
of concerning
referencing
though that they're
list,
talking about the updates
priorities,
now and they're not already
player
planned.
experience now. Let's look at
But
our
then I guess
capacity
you can't plan
planning,
everything.
how we wanna attack
That's
this.
part of the update.
That's all work that's been going
Yes.
on. And so in internally, we actually have good plans together. It's that, are we ready to communicate it externally yet
Correct.
in detail? And we're not there yet because we don't want to put out a plan that isn't rock solid. And so that's the tension. I know you and I talk about this, and internal to the studio. Trust me, there's a tremendously strong desire for us to be able to say even more, but we just want to find that balance between not overcommitting.
I just really hope the shop gets some
That's
big
not a good
improvements.
Yeah, it's not.
And the
that's
challenge
where we are
system
right
gets a
now.
big
I don't want people to
overhaul.
think
I
like,
can't see that
you know,
happening,
that work is
but I
just
would love that to
Yeah,
happen.
and even then, even if we already have a good sense of what's in the drop pod, until that build is cut and has gone through a full test pass
That's
and
right.
become
That's right.
a validated release candidate, it could change,
That's
right? So
That's
there is you know how games are made. Obviously,
Yeah.
most people probably have a sense, but not always an exact science.
I
There
doubt
are
most
things
people
that you have
watching
to
this
kind of
stream have
adjust.
any idea how games are
I
made.
did
I'll
want
be
to
honest.
also just add one more thing, Joseph. When we talk
Complete
about these drop pods,
backseat
I
game
think
development.
it's safe
The other
to
game,
say,
backseat
we
game
should be
developers
upfront
have
about
no
this.
idea how to do anything.
This is not a world where we're just going to have a flurry of 3 or 4 drop pods and then cool.
I've
We've
just seen
addressed all the
screenshots.
feedback.
The chat is
We're
just
back
full of
in
people saying
business
no
again, right?
content.
I mean, to be clear, this is an ongoing commitment.
Yeah, and that's part of running a live game, right? The drop pods that we release in Season 2 will be more focused on getting out those quality of life fixes.
The Ravage is going to be good in Season
But
2, I
that
forgot. And the
continues.
Banshee
For as
shouldn't
many
suck,
delivering drop
and the
pod
Chopper will be able to
creation,
actually ram vehicles,
it's just
like a Chopper should.
like I said, monthly things. We want to be doing regular updates. It's part of the way that we're gonna roll.
Big Team Battle's actually going to be so much
yes,
better.
You'll see a drop pod icon on the roadmap for Season 3, right? It is a continuous thing that we'll be doing. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And the last point, maybe before we switch gears here, you and I had also been chatting. While it's true that we are going after priority right now for quality of life improvements, you also noted this already. We just fully acknowledge we also have some content challenges.
That's
So safe to say, in parallel, we are also still working on ways to bring more content to bear faster.
100%. I mean, like I said at the beginning, we look at this roadmap, we look at what we're able to deliver right
See,
now, and we
I
know
know
very clearly
it's
inside the
basically
studio,
been confirmed that some people
it's
have been
painful for us,
flighting
it's painful for all of
Forge.
you that we can't deliver more content.
343 should let some of those
We
people
are,
make
I think,
maps
behind
for the
the
multiplayer for the time
actively
being.
looking at
They don't have to be
good stuff,
permanent in rotation or whatever,
of
but
content
just a
as well
couple
as-
of
as well as-
fresh maps
Excellent. And again,
to
we will
keep the
provide
content
ongoing
flowing.
updates as long as we
I
need
can't
to,
see that
and
happening, but that would be
we
like
get
such a good way to
these
handle
developments,
it.
we get real details.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of content,
And
let's
maybe it
just
isn't
change
that
gears
simple,
here
but
entirely. We do have new content.
a lot of
coming out
player-made
just a
maps
few
for Halo
days,
5,
and
so-
Lone Wolves kicks off on May 3rd. So, with your narrative background and well, sorry, I'm actually getting ahead of myself. First thing I wanted to talk about really quick because it's been a little bit.
Yeah.
You mentioned this earlier. Campaign co-op and mission replay. Those are features that we are actively working on. We have kind of put a stake in the ground on the roadmap. We are targeting late August to deliver those to the game.
Might
From
get
your
delayed again.
perspective, how are those features currently tracking? What's going on over there in the campaign world?
Yeah, well, the smile you see on my face is because I had the opportunity to sit down and play campaign network co-op with the folks leading that effort on our team. This was maybe a couple weeks ago. I need to play more recent build, but everyone knows that Halo is more fun when you play with your friends. It's always been true, and campaign co-op is no exception. And it was just this magical moment where I'd been playing it along the way, but just to see a build that's progressed so far since last year, a build that's getting really close to being done and released, it was just this magical flow of being in this big new
So
Halo
that
environment.
sounds good. It sounds like
Every
co-op
other
will
squad
come out when
was
it's
running around
planned.
as a foursome, just playing 4-player network co-op, exploring this wide open world. It brought all of those feelings that I so much enjoy about campaign co-op, just rushing back again. So
Reach had
super excited.
Forge
Awesome
maps, but I
progress
don't know
is being
if it
made
had
on
player-made
the
Forge
campaign
maps
co-op
in the
front
actual
as well as mission
multiplayer.
replay.
I think a
And
lot
yeah,
of those were
just
developer-made,
back
but in
to
Forge, because most of them were like map
it's just
remakes, but they were
super,
remade in
super
Forge.
fun. So
I could be
very
wrong,
excited
but
about
I'm
the
pretty sure most of those
progress
were developer-made.
on that. Big
If not
thanks
all
to
of them.
everybody who's been working so hard on it. It's gonna be really, really fun, and it's so nice to see it getting close to the finish line
Sure.
too. Yeah.
And as far as I know,
It'd be
currently
cool
we
if they
still
showed
have
a bit of
goal of
co-op.
being able to flight that via the Halo Insider flighting program at some point prior to release. So, in many ways, it's even
Oh,
closer
so
than it
we'll
would
be able
on
to
the
fly
roadmap.
co-op
So as soon as
before
we
it's
have
out
more
then.
flight
That's
details, we're
good.
Looking forward to sharing those. And of course, if you're not already opted in, you can go to HaloInsider.com right now and create a free profile. And if you want to maybe be a part of a flight for co-op or something else, that's the
Yeah.
first step to take.
Yeah.
next up, we have Forge.
Yep.
We haven't talked about that quite a bit since pre-launch. We also put that on the roadmap. We've indicated that we're targeting September. One big change, though, is that we are calling that an open beta now, which was
Right.
a little bit different. So might be helpful just from your perspective. What does that mean to you, open beta? I have seen some people speculating and some concerns that
Yeah.
you know, it's like 1/10 of Forge, and it's
Right.
just going to be this small little experience. But what do we want players to know about that?
So when we say beta, it is the full feature set for launch for Forge. Like, this is not a stripped down version. This is not some features turned off, some features not. We've been flighting Forge for quite some time, and so what people will experience in this open beta is the Forge toolset. Some things
So
are going to
Forge is literally planned to release
those
September then.
kinds of things, but Forge is going to be its own service as well. Like, we're going to add things over time to Forge too. But you're right. People should not look at the
My bad.
and think, oh, is this some sort of,
My bad.
handcuff version of Forge? No, not at all. Like, when people get it, they'll be playing it with a full robust feature set for V1.
Yeah, and I think originally we had talked about we were going to flight Forge at a larger scale before release, but given that you noted that we have been flighting it to a private audience for, I think, honestly, maybe 2 years or more at this stage.
Yeah, it's been a long time. Yeah.
I think it's the right decision. Essentially, by moving into an open beta, we can get that core tool set right into the game as soon as possible.
They've
and
been
it lets
flighting Forge for
everyone
2
in the
years.
community with no barriers or restrictions
What?
start making real content and real experiences that will then persist. So it's one of our ways that we can also help address the feedback that people want more content, more experiences. We get to recruit the community to help us in some regards.
That's right, and I mean, all that fun, innovation, and new ideas that's always come from Forge, like, we want to get that flywheel going as quickly as possible, and the open beta allows us to do that too. So you're absolutely right. When people jump in with an open beta, they'll be able to make stuff, and it'll persist as well. So people shouldn't think like, oh, is the work I'm gonna do go away? No, not at all.
And we'll, of course, have a lot more to say and show and share about Forge in the coming months. So stay tuned for that. I'll just say,
It's
some stuff maybe leaked
quite
out there,
relieving
and
hearing that they're making good
a lot-
progress on
lots-
Forge
a
and
lot to
Co-op.
be excited about. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah,
Forge,
that's
Forge
right.
is going to be pretty awesome for this new generation. All right. Last thing I want to chat with you about, Joseph. We'll just change gears here again. Lone Wolves is, of course, the name of our season here. We had Heroes of Reach for season 1. You have a lot of backstory and a background of yourself as being a narrative kind of guy. So
Yeah.
I thought it'd just be interesting, from your perspective, what do we mean when we talk about sort of a seasonal narrative and storytelling during the season and even Lone Wolves? Like, just kind of break that down for us a little bit.
Yep. So, Josh, wouldn't mind putting up the Lone Wolves piece of concept art that we've got. So I think people are getting sick of looking at my face at this point. So we released this concept art a little while back. What does it represent? Well, when
That
we
looks
say
sick.
Lone Wolves, what we're really saying
Those spawns
is
were meant.
our seasonal theme. And themes are compelling ideas that inform how we approach a lot of different content creation. Characters like
Like,
this.
I
Spartan
cannot wait
on
to
the
unlock
left,
some of this
Spartan
armor.
Din on the right. A theme for Lone Wolves, what does that idea really mean? Well, who are Lone Wolves? Lone Wolves are scavengers. They're Spartans who are operating deep behind enemy lines, far away from lines of supply. They need to be improvisers. You can see on their armor that if something breaks down, they find something on the battlefield, they use it for their own purposes. So these Lone Wolves are scrappy scavengers. And when it comes to, well, what does that mean for the story, themes, really, they inspire interesting what-if questions. So what if we had two Spartans operating out in the field, deep behind enemy lines, and they found something very, very dangerous? And what if they brought that really dangerous thing back to the academy, brought it back to this place of safety? Like, what is you as a player, how would you deal with that problem? And Brian, I don't want to spoil anything.
That sounds cool.
Take by the image, because the more I look at it, the more I want to say. But that's the idea.
Mate, if that is like Link to the Didact, I will go nuts.
They find something interesting and dangerous. What happens when they bring it back?
I'm just so glad that we're getting story content, regardless of how we're giving it.
In a cinematic here. It isn't the whole Season 2 intro cinematic, because that would be terrible. We'd spoil everything. But it's a little snippet of the opening cinematic for Season 2 Lone Wolves that we should take a look at.
Yeah, let's check it out.
I thought we were getting her armor core. I thought that's what the Lone Wolf one was at first, but I'm assuming she's going to be a bit later on. Her armor looks kind of cool though. Just a shame that we're not getting that yet.
They aren't hostiles. They're wolves. Back from the hunt.
This Neuralink is corrupted, man. I'll have to pull the chip. And
No! Do that, he dies. And we lose everything he risked his life for.
What? So it's an AI. Is it the Didact?
What does it mean?
You'll find out May 3rd. So, something that went by pretty
Or is
quickly
it
in this snippet of the intro.
Mendicant or offensive bias?
When we plan our seasonal stories, we want to make sure that the player, all of you, are at the heart of this story, driving events. If we kick off a crisis like this, we want the players to be the.
That gave me goosebumps. That's awesome. I can't wait.
Would immediately roll into the first event of the season. No spoilers, where you as a player begin to work through this problem, and by playing, progress the story. And that, in short, is seasonal narrative. But if we want to bring up the image of the Spartans, so you can see in this image, you have Spartan Din in the middle there on his knees. You have Spartan Eklund on the right. Brian, who's that Spartan on the left? That's the player. That's you. That's you in the game.
Oh!
And so, however you
What?
set up your customization, that'll be you. If you're rocking,
My
That's
full-on
awesome!
Spartan and all my katanas or my samurai, it's all going to be there, right?
100%.
My mohawk.
Yeah.
Okay.
One of the things from the very early days of Halo that I am still super passionate about is this idea in Halo 1 that it was BYOG, bring your own gun to the cinematics. Whatever gun you had in your hand in a Halo 1 cinematic would show up. That's true for Infinite. Well, in this case, I guess it's bring your own armor, bring your own customization. So in these real-time cinematics, in the in-engine cinematics, yeah, if you want to rock, I don't know, Brian, whatever crazy stuff your mohawk.
We'll do it.
Yeah, it'll be there. And so
That is so cool to
in a
hear.
important way that we're really emphasizing, hey, this is you. This is you at the heart of our story, right there, boots on the ground, center of the event, center of the crisis. I think.
Oh, now I've got to make sure I pick the right Spartan before the event starts.
I want to acknowledge y'all are kind of crazy because I know I've already seen it and I've heard you working. This doesn't just start and stop with Lone Wolves. You've got nuggets and threads right now that will actually span multiple seasons.
Will this lead to the next
and this narrative will
campaign
continue to grow with
DLC
the
then?
players
Is this
getting
going to
really
lead
at the center
into
of it throughout.
Chief
That's right.
story?
We
Yeah,
still
it's
have
a bit
lot
like
to figure
Reach,
out
Spartanox
plan
kind of
and
thing.
How we get that going, but this is this is a serial story. It started with Heroes of Reach, introduced Commander Agrinia, who's also in season 2, introduces our 2 lone wolves, maybe some other things as well, and that story will continue from season to season and into experiences that we have planned beyond. So yeah, if you want to get in on the ground floor, see what the evolving story of Halo Infinite is, May 3rd is your time.
Awesome. Joseph, I don't want to keep you any longer. I know you've got a lot of planning meetings to get back to that are happening right now, as you mentioned earlier, but really appreciate stopping by today.
That just sounds so cool. That will make the season worth playing alone, in my
Any
opinion.
final parting words before we let you go?
You know, I say this a lot in the blog posts that I put out and in online, and when I say that I'm genuinely thankful for everyone out there in our community who's passionate, even when you're noisy sometimes, and light up my Twitter. We can't do our job without the feedback. For those of you who are being especially supportive and patient, even more gratitude. So thank you. Please keep the feedback coming. You know, like I said, we're heads down. We're going after this work, and we've got a lot of good stuff planned. So thank you.
Awesome. Now, next up, we as we mentioned at the outset of the show, Unished caught up with Jerry Hook earlier this week.
Can't wait for my Samurai Spartan to be canon.
The entire Season 2 Battle Pass and show you what you can look forward to for all the new customization content. But first, here's a quick look again at our new Big Team Battle map coming next week called Breaker. We'll be right back.
Okay, so they're about to show the Battle Pass off, but I'm very excited to finally see Breaker. Completely unrelated though. The new Halo Infinite promotion. I'm gonna get LucasAid skins. It's like it's just so good to see a different environment for a big team battle map, because all the other three just grass fields. They have slight differences, but they feel so similar in environment. I mean, I swear Break is supposed to link to the story. So the Banished must have something here that those Spartans come and get. Or at least that's just my theory. But this map looks great. It just seems so much more unique compared to the other three. Not that I don't like the other three. I think they're fine. They're just not very standout. Like, if someone's going to sit there and talk about the best Halo maps, none of them are going to be mentioned. Maybe Fragmentation, because it has some unique things like the loot caves, and it's sort of an evolution of Valhalla. But I think if anyone's going to be talking about the best Halo maps, none of the big team battle maps on Infinite, as of right now, are going to be mentioned. Breaker, however, it looks like it could be a contender. It almost reminds me of something from Gears of War. It's crazy. Looks like vehicles are like gonna work on this map. I'm not gonna like hit a pebble and go flying across the stage, map, whatever. But you get my point. I can't wait to play this map. I really can't. I've been like sweating Fortnite lately, so it'll be good to go back to Halo. The Space Gopher? No way! What's he doing here? He looks so out of place there.
Check here, and today I am joined by Jerry Hook. We decided to match outfits so we could talk about Season 2 and some of the learnings from Season 1. Jerry, how are you doing?
Doing great. It's good to be back in black. It's fantastic.
It feels good. I'm glad we were on the same wavelength coming in today. But let's talk about Season 1, some of the learnings we've had, and then we can dive into Season 2, take a look at the Season 2 Battle Pass. One of the first things and most common things we got feedback around were challenges throughout Season 1 and kind of the ultimate weekly rewards there. What were some of the learnings we've had right off the bat from challenges?
Yeah, so one of the things we knew coming into actually right before ship is we knew we'd struggle in this area just from what we had, and what I hope the community saw is us trying to respond really quickly to any problematic challenges that were what I consider esoteric or impossible to land without way too much.
They did improve the challenge quite a bit from
failed
launch.
to meet our expectations of.
I just
a
think
system
it's
where
the
we
system
just
overall that
play
was the
the
problem.
game. And so what we're trying to do is we're trying to help make sure that, one, we're being really responsive, hopefully at a fast enough rate, but also as we look forward to future, how do we want to make challenges? How do we start pairing those challenges stronger to the playlist you're playing instead of locking you down right from the beginning? That won't affect you here in Season 2, but we've culled a lot of the challenges that were problematic for everyone. And
Like the Killjoy challenge,
Killjoy, or not as many Ravager challenges, those sorts of things, and really try to focus on just the heart of just playing playing
The
in
Killjoy ones are
specific
so
modes and being
dumb.
successful there.
And
It's so
for
unlikely
20
to happen.
Finish those challenges. We've got ultimate rewards every week
Yeah.
that pop up that players can earn. We got a lot of feedback around season ones.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
some repeating emblems, but season 2 we're turning the corner.
Yeah, so one of the things we've met, as we've balanced a lot of what we've been trying to do with the game moving forward, is just go to the heart of, is the design principles that we went against, are they hitting our goals, and can we put pressure on our content to be able to get the right content for players that they actually value. And so we've moved away from a lot of the consumable pieces. We've moved away from a lot of the emblems and other things that they're valuable, but when you're talking about a weekly challenge, they don't really hit the high value that players are looking for, where players are looking for new coatings or new geos, those sorts of things, new visors, those pieces, and that's what we want to try to do moving forward. And again, you saw us make some of these quality life improvements towards the tail end of season 1, and we're just going to continue that moving into season 2.
The current
So
weekly
your
reward is really cool.
capstones will hopefully be
If it
something
wasn't for
that
the fact that I'm
you
like
wanna
trying to have a
chase,
break from the
and
game,
you
I would
feel
grind
good
out for it.
going after from a week by week basis.
Yeah, I think in our outcomes blog we said coatings, visors, and stances, right?
Yeah.
As well as a little geo.
Yeah,
you
you
mentioned.
mentioned.
Nice. And then up next, the shop. There was
Yeah.
a lot of conversations around the shop when we launched, and we did make some strides to improve that, and we'll have even more in season 2.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Yeah,
good
the
to hear.
biggest thing for the shop obviously is pretty early on, within a couple weeks after launching, we really sat down with our business teams and we said, hey, look, we have to go back to the drawing board. We have to go back to the drawing board on our pricing and our fundamental store structure. And again, that's just we didn't meet expectations. We knew we'd have some challenges going into
They literally ran out of
launch. We
shop
didn't have
content
time to
within like the
fix them
first
all.
3 months.
And so we just went back pretty much to the drawing board and said, okay, look, let's take a fundamental look. Let's take a look at the product lines that we're trying to help make sure that players feel are valuable, and let's start breaking it up. We lowered prices pretty much across the board in most cases. And then we're also starting to look at, like, let's do some individual sales. We will be looking at the future of continuing to make improvements so that if you open up a bundle and you just want one item, we are looking at that to help solve for that challenge. And then the other things we want to help make sure is that, again, from a value perspective, the probably one of the biggest learnings that we got across the board is that our avid players who have been with us for the last 20 years, they really wanted to see something new. And so when we look at, where your feedback is on value, where your feedbacks are on, where that value sits for you, it's not in the old geo, or it's not in the old looks. It's actually in things that really spark you as being new to play with, which makes complete sense. And we're trying to put our focus there instead of, and you'll see that in a lot of the battle pass, instead of rehashing, say, Spartan 5 stuff and whatnot. It's not to say that we're not focused on that at all, because I know there's fan favorites,
Definitely
but we want to
Spartan
balance
5
from a
yet, but-
purchasing perspective. We want that more to be on the earn side than on the purchase side.
Gotcha. And then, last but not least, before we dive into the battle pass, I know we had a lot of feedback around cores, right?
Yeah.
Customization, cores and kits, right? Kind of being
Yep.
locked down. But we're going to start changing that starting within season 2. Want to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I mean, this has been a very hot topic since we launched, and the initial goal, and you can see this in how we packaged together the battle pass for season 1, is it's really based around Noble 6 and those characters. And when you break down those characters, we really wanted to help make sure that those looks and those that fantasy was preserved. And we really lost incorrectly the strength that Reach and Halo 3 brought to the franchise of allowing players to really mix and match everything. And we knew we'd have some struggles there. We didn't realize it would be as bad as it was. So if you didn't catch our blog last time, we are looking to move away completely from the core system. And what that means for season 2 is you'll start seeing specifically what I would call in-canon cores. So, your Spartan 5 to 7 to, whatever we're doing for Infinite on a canon perspective, we're trying to make that ubiquitous. So if you earn a coating, it's usable across all of those cores, or if you earn a shoulder piece, it's usable across all those cores. And our focus for Season 2, not from day one, but as we move through Season 2, is that your visors, your helmets, your coatings, those will be the first things that we go after, and then we'll slowly trying to move everything to be more ubiquitous.
That is very good to
It gets a
hear.
little harder when you take a look at, say, the Yori armor or some of the Fracture cores, because they do have just fundamentally different structures that not everything fits in.
That makes sense.
So right now we're really taking a look at the canon.
It'd be
cores
cool if
and leaving the
I
Fracture
can't
cores,
merge me
to
Fracture
be
stuff with
run
me
right
normal
now.
stuff.
But again,
At least
send
let
us your
me
feedback,
merge the
let us
Fracture
hear
stuff
that,
together.
and that'll help us,
I'd like to be able
basically
to
where we're
merge
gonna
me
put the
Iron
team
Eagle
going,
and
focus on.
Tenrai one.
Correct.
Yeah, the feedback
If I
definitely helps
can't
us
merge them
prioritize
with my other
what's
stuff.
important to the players.
Yeah, and kits are the kind of fit in that same challenge where the original design philosophy was a kit was more like a uniform. We wanted players to just quickly, basically, put that uniform on, whether it be esports or whether it be a character, and just say, hey, look, that kit goes there. And we want to make, from a design philosophy perspective, we want our content to be able to be used across all of our, basically our players' characters.
The Reach
to be
kits
able
weren't
to
the
go
problem,
and
it's
make
just
their
the
Spartans
esports
look the way
ones.
they want, including kits. Those won't
Okay, the
be
Reach
on
ones
day
were kind
one,
of a
but it's
problem, I
something
guess.
that we're hoping
You
to
didn't unlock everything
address
from
in the
them.
drop pod coming in Season 2.
And now for the grand finale, we can talk about the Battle Pass here for Season 2. We can talk about a little of the learnings from Season 1 as we go through it, though.
New menu, new UI.
One of the coolest things you'll see in the game right off the bat. You want to speak to it?
Yeah, sure. So the first thing, as everybody knows, our battle passes don't expire, which means you have to have a way to equip the passes that you want to go and earn your content in. And so this will be the first time that you see this from Season 1. Here this has been completed, so you can't equip something that you've already completed because there's nothing to earn left. But had you had other things to earn there, you would have been able to equip it very similar to how you're equipping any piece of armor. And so you equip it, and that's where your XP will end up going. So whether you're earning XP per match or whether you're earning it,
I just want to see the new stuff.
Challenge systems, it'll go into the battle pass that you have equipped.
Yeah.
A
Players
red
from
carpet and
MCC
unexpected
should be
guests.
Pretty familiar with that, selecting the battle pass that they kind of want to make progress on.
Yeah.
Oh, the armor core's at
So
tier
here we've got
6.
the Season 2 battle pass. First looked at it.
Mate,
what are
this
some of
looks
the
clean as
things
hell.
that jump out to you here?
Yeah,
Look
so
at that
one of
armor
the things
core.
just take a look at these first 6 levels.
That already looks so much better. What the hell?
To make for the battle pass.
Oh, Season 2 seems like a
you only
huge
see one
improvement.
consumable. You see
I like the
credits starting
helmet.
to be earned. And when we took a look at, again, talking with our business team to say, hey, look, some of the original reasons for us not.
It
to
looks
have
like there's
credits
2
in the battle
rewards
pass
per
system
tier.
Because if you had a battle pass that wasn't going to expire, we wanted to make sure that we weren't losing too much. And so we challenged those systems, and we're saying, hey, look, we think there is more value for the players, both from an engagement perspective as well as every
I don't
player
mind the lack
knowing
of
that
content as
if
long
they
as the
purchased
gameplay is
a
good.
pass,
I'm
they can
set.
earn that pass
I
back.
partially
We think it's a
agree, but I think the
powerful
gameplay
thing.
can only
We
take
know
you
it's
so
industry
far.
standard,
Okay, that actually looks
but
so
we
much
broke
better with the
industry,
attachment. What the hell?
Standard
I
without
think
expiring the
you
battle
need,
pass.
like,
But that really helps
the gameplay
us, I
can be
think,
fun,
get back to what
but
will
you
provide
need
that
to
value back
have
to players, but also
stuff to
the
do
other
with
big
that
thing you see
gameplay.
here
You
is,
need new maps and everything,
is your first
and new
armor
modes.
core
Otherwise, the
within
gameplay
that,
will get repetitive. Like, no matter
first
how
6
good it
levels.
is,
This
it
is
will
pretty
eventually get
critical for us
boring
because
if
one of
the
things
content
we
isn't there.
developed, looking at season
I really like the
1,
armor
in
core.
Season 1, you didn't earn a core if you were a free player. And for us, when we take a look at
That is a
valuing the
really,
player's
really
time
nice armor core.
and where we've kind of failed in a couple of ways, this is one of the
The
pretty
UI
critical
just-
pieces.
The
We
menu
wanted to
just looks
make
so
sure that,
nice.
as we honor everyone's time, part of that is as you play, you're
I'm glad the
actually
armor
earning
core's free though, so
content
everyone can
if
earn
you're a
it.
free player.
That's so good.
And earning, a full suit is the first step of that. This also actually permeates the rest of the battle pass. If you're a free player, you're pretty much, I think we're about 60%. Don't quote me on that. If you're gonna, land blast me with tweets or whatnot, you're 59% or whatever. I'm just saying around there. Our main goal was to try to help lift both the free side of the pass, as well as the pass in general on higher valued content.
Yeah, so see the free track. should
Please
have
show us
around
more. Please show us
60%
more of the battle
more
pass.
goodness earned, right? More durable cosmetic unlocks and stuff like that. And we already touched on it, but the pay track also has this
Yep.
a total of 1,000 credits
Yeah.
over the course of the.
Yeah, you get 1,000 credits from the battle pass then.
But
The shoulder pads,
Yeah.
alright.
The great thing you'll
They're
start
okay.
seeing here is as
I see utility
you
piece and a
start
coating
scrolling
there. The
through
coating's
this
free.
content,
Oh, that's a
is
vehicle coating.
You're going to start seeing content.
So we
here
get
that matches
we're actually
our
going to get weapon
character
and
theme.
vehicle coatings from the battle
And
pass this
as
time.
Joseph talked about, Eklund and Din. They're the main characters for this pass, and they're lone wolves.
Well, that
They're
helmet's an
wolves as
interesting
Spartans
one.
who've
I'm not
been
too
out
sure
on
how I
the
feel about the
hunt.
helmet, but I like the shoulder
They've
pads.
been separated from the UNSC over a long period of time, so they've kind of had to
Yeah, I
scrap
get
and
your
pull
point. So
together their
usually
armor.
when it
And you
does
see
get
that
repetitive, they
theme
usually take a
pretty
break for like
much
2
throughout
days.
the battle pass.
Yeah, I'm currently
And
trying
one
to
of
take
the
a break.
critical
I
things
had
we're
to
trying
play
do
basically for a daily
overall
basis while I was doing the shop
creatively as
videos,
we move
but I've tried to
forward
take a
that
break
being
lately.
tied
That
to
utility
the
piece is
story,
kind of
the
clean.
ongoing story, as well as the look
Um,
and the feel, it's felt throughout the experience.
But yeah, I just
And like
I
said,
get bored when the
we'll
game doesn't
start
have
seeing
anything
more
to offer. I need
coatings,
reasons to keep coming on. I mean, even the
again,
shop.
more unique gear,
Just stop
which
getting new
hopefully
content.
For every player who's
That's
looking,
clean. I like that.
Playing Halo and
I wanna see that blue
joining us
coating.
for a new
There we
season,
go.
There's a lot of
That is
content there
nice.
for them to go after that they haven't seen before. Even
I
if
really
they've
like
been a
that.
part of the franchise for 20 years.
What about that helmet?
So lots of good stuff, especially for that.
That's a weird one.
Armor core.
These look. It looks Star Wars-esque. It looks like the it's either the snow troopers or the desert ones or whatever.
Yeah, and you'll see there's less. There are still swaps and XP boosts in there. They are still valuable for players, but you were seeing them less than you were in the past. And even events.
See, I didn't
events
mind how many
completely have
swaps
removed,
and double
our
XP were in the
consumables
battle
across the
pass.
board,
I just think there
and
should have
our
been more
events
stuff
are
alongside it.
focused as a primary means in which.
Okay, we get quite a bit of
you
armory.
are
I like
just-
that.
you
AI
are earning
colours.
through your time
I'm not that
and your
bothered about those
investment
shoulder
in the
pads, but
franchise, a way to earn new content.
I'm gonna smash this
we
battle
haven't
pass
seen.
out.
And as part of the battle pass, you
Oh, those are
also
Mark
see,
7 shoulders.
some Mark
I didn't even
7
realize.
content, right? So players who've been joining us since launch, who had that Mark 7 armor for
Yeah.
free, are going to get new pieces of armor here in the battle pass as well. Also, some on the free.
And this is something that everybody has access to the Mark 7 core because it comes with the free-to-play multiplayer. It's something that we want to continue to build on again, just to help make sure that story of the Spartans continues to grow. Of what the UNSC Mark 7 looks
That
like.
camouflage coating there. That weapon charm looks pretty nice.
High Charity. It's got that Covenant purple. I like it.
Oh, I like that.
Oh, that's a good one.
Very much like that.
Get some of that camo, you know. One of my favorite weapon
Combat
charms
mod
now,
weapon
the
charm.
combat
That's cool. I like that.
Toss the plasma grenade, launch the weapon to you, pick it up, go on a tear. This and there's the extermination weapon charm that'll be available with Twitch drops this weekend at Kansas City. So
Chest piece is nice.
having both of those to rock too.
Yeah, and this chess piece pretty early on is just a critical way in which you can see that thrown together Halo.
Do we
kind
have
of
armor
strapping
kits this
together with
season, though?
Wires and straps to help get this piece of gear be protective and help that Spartan still do his duty and be successful for the UNSC.
And now we're starting
That's a
to
nice helmet.
piece together one of our lone wolves. Yeah, Eklund here.
So you start seeing her frame.
There's another helmet there.
Yeah, you start seeing wasps. I don't actually remember if we had any wasp coatings in the season 1 battle pass.
We didn't have any coatings for vehicles or weapons in the Season 1 Battle Pass.
To earn and also buy some coatings for the Wasp. Like I know I've got.
These helmets are so weird.
that I
Oh wait, that's the visor. So that's the default helmet. It looks so weird up close.
And you see, you go next for the coating. You get a nice free coating here.
That's the McDonald's
and
one.
The great thing we're trying to do here, again, you're seeing some different color variations and just some more customization for the player look and feel. You should go to.
jump on ahead to Eklund's. A nice little stance we can use to show off.
Yeah, and I just want to remind everybody, like, I know we're using a Spartan here.
That's
This
sweet.
Spartan that you're seeing here, when we look at poses and whatnot, this is all things that
Oh,
are
and
required
is
in
that
past. There's
the
no
armor kit there? Is that the
stored
first
here,
armor
so
kit?
everything you see on that Spartan
I'm pointing
is
as
from
if
the
you can
battle
see
pass
where I'm
that we put
pointing,
together.
The tier 30 one.
A nice deal.
Another nice coating.
Boom. There's Eklund.
Oh, okay.
And so this is her kit.
Every 30
This is what she
tiers,
looks like
is there
in
going to be
cinematics.
3 kits?
And you're seeing a lot of
2 or
the-
3 kits,
the-
maybe?
obviously
Oh, well, it
the
might be every
kits
30 tiers.
together.
I'm, making an
And
assumption there.
One of the great things, again, from a character perspective, this
Oh,
is
yeah,
the one
Air
if
Assault
you
straight
wanna
after.
Look like Eklund. This is what she looks like, and this is how.
Mate, this battle pass
her
looks...
comes together.
It's just
So-
such a phenomenal improvement.
Some more Mark 7 gear, right?
I like that.
Lots of good stuff.
Oh, that's the new version of
Very
EOD
good
too.
analysis.
Mongoose coating.
Some
Mark 7
additional
They are nice
features
shoulder
from
pads.
Mark
They are
7 as
nice
well.
Mark 7 shoulder pads. I want a
Great look,
McDonald's
kinda
coat
looks
colour.
like the EOD, you
Whoa,
know,
that is a weird helmet. I like it. That is weird.
Keep jumping forward here. Some new gloves.
Oh, what is that attachment for it?
Like we were
Yeah,
saying,
Chest
I
piece
know
is
we-
fine.
some good
These
Mark
ones
7
I
are
actually,
stuff.
really good.
yeah, that is cool. The next chest piece.
This one on the
That's
track,
the
a lot of
Firefall
players will
one.
recognize from our key art on season 1.
Oh, yeah.
That's the
And
Firefall
you can,
chest piece.
Now get it for free, just in that free track, or in that chest attachment.
That is so weird.
Nice little helmet.
Why has it got
attachment there.
bug eyes?
Right
Are they actually
there.
going to show off the whole battle
Love
pass
that.
here?
I can dig it, yeah. But lots of good stuff, right?
So the rest of the...
And, one thing about the
That's
the
okay.
battle
So the
pass
rest
that
of
we
the
haven't
Firefall
talked
set's gonna be in the
about,
battle pass then?
or haven't talked about yet, is overall progression system stuff. I know we wanted to kind of talk about that, kind of with the challenges, but I skipped over it a bit. We do want to make a long-term progression system, but that's not in scope here for season 2, right?
Yeah, so what we're trying to do is, we're trying to get the foundation ready for it with, earned XP per match. But really, that Spartan rank or the Spartan career that we're all looking for, that's something we're putting long-term investment in. Part of our drop pod system is to try to bring things online faster in pieces, if possible. And this is definitely a top ask for us to, with the team, to get the Spartan progression system all up so that people feel like they have a career.
I think the helmets do look
outside
sweet.
of,
They look so
the
different, but they
personal
feel Halo-esque.
And we've also got
They do feel very
some nice
Halo.
chest attachments right here coming up.
Is that
Another
Mark,
pretty
yeah, that's a
darn
Mark 7
sweet
one. That's
looking Mark
decent,
7
I guess.
the pack right
Can't wait for season 2. Need the CQB helmet to combine it with the Halo Legends teddy bear.
I always love
Plus blood shadow
Yeah,
coating.
yeah.
To
You got
recreate
those
the
kinda
girl.
reminds
Is
me
it?
of
Is her name
the-
Daisy? The one
and
from
up next we've
Legends?
got,
I don't think CQB is going to be in the battle pass though, so I don't know how you're going to acquire it. Wait, what?
Are you seeing this? This can't be right. No way. This doesn't make sense.
I didn't see what they were saying.
We know what's vulnerable. Oh god. You've got an intact matrix core. Signature is General Howard. Answer me.
Where did the core go?
I think we're about to find out. They're here.
Lux 11. Artificial minds, real solution.
here. This one is one of my favorites, right?
Yeah.
With that black and red.
What was that?
why I really just like the
That coating's sick, but what was that?
color sets that are high contrast.
I couldn't hear any of that, man. I'm going to rewatch this stream. Oh.
Yeah, I'm really digging that look there.
Kept muting it.
Continued Mark 7.
It's good. It's
right?
good seeing we're getting some
Lots of
good
stuff.
Mark 7 shoulder pads.
Got some Rakshasa knee pads.
Yeah, and this is the.
Yeah, I don't know how you're going to acquire
tape,
CQB. I don't know if they're going to make it a shop
figure,
item or if they're going to
pieces
just give it
together.
to Season 1
Just
players.
Really unique look compared to what
Battle
seems like
Royale.
it's fresh off the factory floor.
And one thing I've
I couldn't hear what any of that
we've
said.
Been going through the battle passes. Once you get to the second half,
Yeah,
like things start
Starts
getting
going
real
crazy.
nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you see that with this the cool shot shoulder piece right here. Got it on both sides, and you got a nice, sweet looking.
The
armor
coatings look great. They
coating here.
stand out.
Yeah,
They're not
beautiful.
boring.
And you really start to see the tubes, the patchwork, right? Oh snap! I'm on the battlefield. Let me.
They mentioned
let me get
CQB
something
would come
together.
at some point in season 2.
and
No,
grab
it will be during season 2, but I don't think it'd be in the season 2 battle pass. Otherwise, you'd have to own both season 1 and season 2. So anyone that just buys season 2 wouldn't be able to use the CQB helmet unless it is cross cool. Whoa. Okay, so GRD is back.
From Reach,
That's awesome. It looks
cut from Reach.
hideous, but I'm glad it's back.
Via MCC not too long ago, and now it's making its appearance here in Infinite, which is awesome to have, right? The GRD.
I like how they look like
right?
brass knuckles.
Some
That's
brass
cool.
knuckle type thing.
There's
Oh,
very
the
few
little Reach
gloves
med
that I
pack
get
weapon
really
charm.
Excited about, but those gloves are amazing. I love the health pack. This
Yep.
is so good.
People, some OG fans will really appreciate.
Well, I guess
this.
it's Combat Evolved and Reach into.
You got the med kit on both the gun
Okay.
attachment as well as a utility kind of.
GRD attachment, and that armor effect looks cool.
Big fan of that. GRD attachment.
Oh, I skipped past that. I was gonna say.
codes, right, the
Okay,
same
that's
like purple
that's
with a
fine.
Slight like touch of gold to it. Really liking that. Ooh, this one, yeah.
I like that.
Flare.
Yeah. So we learned a lot from the Cyber Showdown. You know what we could do with effects, and I think again the art team. This is a huge, I think, a really good.
Where are these elite shoulder pads?
Yeah. And one thing that I've really come to appreciate is we've also.
I
been
like
learning
you.
tools on how to make things even better.
That is a
moving forward,
nice helmet.
Right. It's a new engine, right? So we're getting familiar with it too, making even newer, cooler stuff, and kind of pushing its limits even more with future customization content, which has been really sweet to think about. Right.
Spider-Man
When we
emblem.
launch Forge and people get their hands on, they make kind of more.
All the
simple
Mark 7
things,
shoulder pads for the
right?
most
Same
part look
kind of
really good.
basic concept applies to us with
I
our
mean,
own tools
we
getting
got
better and better.
2 shoulder pads in the first season for the Mark 7. Well,
Nice little
you
helmet
got the
attachment
Mark
here.
7 shoulder pads,
Yeah, just
and then you had the default ones. That was it in the
throw
season 1
together
battle pass.
tape and
It's good to see a lot of content for both cores. Oh, there's another helmet. That's one with little teeth on its visor.
Here we go. Nice blades on the hip there.
That's cool. Yeah, I really like that helmet.
Yeah,
That
well
will be
said.
my
It's
lone wolf
good
helmet,
stuff,
100%.
On the free track,
Unless they
yeah,
drop
and
something
that
else.
nice
Okay, that's a cool
Clearly
attachment too.
Yeah. Visor there.
Yeah, so they're the ones I was on about that look like Halo 4 and 5 Chief shoulder pads.
Yeah, this second half.
Oh, they're the Banished knee pads.
Getting there. Oh, some of my favorite.
They're the Banished shoulder pads.
Yeah.
And there's the Banished chest piece.
Kind of a elite shoulder piece that you have taken as your own. I'm a big fan of that.
yeah.
Just be like, I need that more than you do now. So I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, that's cool. That was
Where
very
you
cool.
can really start seeing, you know, just mixing and matching with the universe and the armor pieces of
The blue visor looks pretty sweet.
not just Spartan.
No,
Okay, so
same.
there's only 2 kits.
There.
Unless
Up there. This
they had that little trailer come up. Was that to hide the second armor kit?
Here's a full look at Din.
This
Were in
is
the
what
shoulders
you'll see
in the
cinematic
shop?
and
Shoulders next to him.
cool characters Joseph was talking about.
But
Um,
he looks
earlier.
he looks cool. I like his kit.
It's just really, really unique, really strong.
So is there an armor kit that they're trying to hide? Was that what it was? Are they trying to hide a character?
Yep. Digging in. Yep.
Is that-
$2.99.
I don't know if
You get
you-
those elite shoulder pads. Is that what the tier 100 reward is?
Yeah,
Mythic effect set. Yeah.
think so.
Okay, those armor effects cool. I like the elite shoulder pads. Do I think they deserve to be tier 100 though?
A couple Spartans are rocking this.
That's where I would have had the kit personally.
Trail around 'em. But some really cool
Tier 100 is where I would have had the armor kit.
Of course, they
Oh,
want
mhm.
everyone's gonna want these.
But they look
elite
nice.
skulls.
I really like them.
These are Just phenomenal.
Yeah, looking good.
It's just pulled together like it looks like, you know, Din put this on himself and helped made it fit his whole armor set. It's very good.
Nice little.
Looks 4 on it.
attachment there too. You can press shield node, but yeah, the skull bearer.
It's not, but it looks 4 on it.
clean and overall battle pass.
That battle pass is
Lots of good stuff.
huge, and I mean a huge improvement.
Every event we have, you'll be earning.
I'm spending
content as
so
well.
much
The-
money.
the seasonal kickoff with the first event.
Right on May 3rd. Yeah.
Inception. What's the?
I think they put that trailer thing on to hide Narmicus. Again, could be wrong,
The great thing about that is,
but it almost feels like they were trying to hide Narmicus.
Right off the bat, 10 items for you to go and earn, and you won't have any consumables there. It's all gear. It's all customization stuff for the player. And then you'll have the new Fracture coming out.
I'm very
that
intrigued.
first month, and can't wait for everyone to see. To dress up as their version of the almost World War II looking Spartans. Very amazing. I love it.
Yeah, the Eagle Strike there.
Eagle Strike.
Yeah, but we've said Interference launching on May 3rd, right there, day and date. It's going to have the last Spartan standing game mode on Breaker, which is going to be fantastic. And then after the event ends, we're going to have that live in our larger playlist offering with Last Spartan standing on all the big team maps, right? So we won't just limit it to Breaker.
Yeah, that's the other big thing that we're trying to be consistent on is now every time you launch an event, you'll see it move into the general playlist, so you can continue to play it as a game mode.
That's good to hear. Oh yeah, Attrition will be back permanently.
I think that's kind of the big stuff for us here today. I know we've got a little more for me and Brian to jump to, but Jerry, any last closing words?
No, I just want to say, hey, thanks for coming with us on the journey. And hopefully you're seeing us make pretty steady progress to improve and better meet the expectations of the community. One of the main things I have always said is community really is the end game for any strong entertainment property, and for Halo that is for sure the case. And I know that it's always hard to not get everything you want on day one, but we hope we're earning our way to continually make improvements that you're looking for to be successful for all of us in this hobby that we all love called Halo.
All right. Well, thank you.
Yeah, they're making some major improvements across Season 2.
We're back. We're back. Hey, wait, what?
Discuss me how 343 thinks.
Want to give a big thanks again to Jerry.
It discussed me how 343 think they should have a healthy work-life balance. No, that's not Phil Spencer. Whoa, we just had a huge viewer count jump. What the hell? Hello, everyone. Why is the stream so quiet? Oh my god, stop muting it.
Details after we recorded that segment, and we just wanted to make sure there was no confusion in that regard. We talked about, we've always said once you buy the Battle Pass in Halo Infinite, it never expires. That is.
I'm switching it to my other monitor speakers. I can hear that so much better now. I just hope that isn't echoing for people now. I should probably just use headphones, really.
So we wanted to be upfront and make sure that we were clear about that. So starting next week, we'll launch a loan piece. If you own the premium pass, it will persist. You can still switch back and forth.
Mate, this Season 2 looks so much better. It's crazy. I don't understand how they managed to make such a huge improvement. I can't wait to play this season. It's going to be crazy. We have some mental streams during the season.
Just a nuance we want to be very upfront and clear about. So just wanted to make that correction. And then John, I think you got two more quick addendums you'd like to add on to that segment, right? You got your real quick in front of us in the build right now.
Yeah, we are doing this very much live. We saw people
should clearly be 24/7 at the office like Bungie. His shoulder's fixed. It's fixed. Congratulations, 343.
In great detail in Season 2.
George is a playable character now.
Show that, and
the shoulder gate.
Iconic crunch time looks way better. It does.
This one kind of trended on the Halo subreddit pretty frequently anytime it got posted.
Can I use his shoulder pads now on my own Spartan? Is that an option? I'm interested in the first new weekly shop rotation. Very much agree with that. Wonder if there's a lot of new stuff like weapon attachments for the weapons or attachments from Halo 5. Maybe. I can't see the bayonet or anything being on it.
We have some other things. You'll see when Season 2 rolls around, we'll have a rank reset for ranked, and there will be new ranked rewards, ranked emblems that that are kind of focused on.
Can you use your actual emblems on your armor and stuff now.
And it's going to have like a lone wolf's twist to it, right? So you see a bronze one with the wolf inside of it. We also have some classic emblems making a return. Like,
oh, that's cool. That's very cool.
That
I love the character development there, Cream Cut. I love the Cream Cut. Sorry, I love the character development.
Now that officially wraps up the customization segment. Yes.
I want to know what's going on with the cut reach stuff though.
Talk about briefly before we turn y'all loose today, and that is our big HCS Kansas City major coming up in just a couple days. Let's get ourselves in the spirit and let's roll our quick HCS teaser trailer.
I'll be honest, I'm not really that bothered about the HCS stuff. I don't really follow the competitive scene all that much. I like knowing who wins, but that's about it. I only have the streams on in the background. Okay, now that's too loud. I only have the streams on in the background for the free stuff. For good players, don't get me wrong. No, it just needs his giant backpack, then I would play him. Oh yeah, he does have a big backpack. It's crazy that they added, like, backpacks or batblings, you know, whatever you want to call them. They added them to Master Chief Collection, not present in Infinite. They're probably going to sell the cut reach stuff. No, but that's the thing. They were supposed to sell them in the shop, but they were never added to the shop. That's where they were supposed to be, but they never were. I heard a rumour that stuff from the kits were going to get given to players that unlock the kits. Sorry, I can't hear this at all now. But they were supposed to be added to the shop. There was JFO, there was the CQB helmet and the Mark V helmet, there was the CQC army. They were all supposed to be on the shop. The Commando shoulder pads were supposed to be on the shop, and there was 2 other smaller bundles that were all supposed to be shop bundles. None of them were added. There was so much stuff, well, okay, there was so much reach stuff that was supposed to be on the shop that was never added, and I have no idea why. There's been no explanation, not throughout this entire stream. They spoke about the shop, they spoke about Season 1 Battle Pass, no explanation where that stuff is. I'm assuming Commando and maybe Georgie's shoulder pads might be given for free because they're a part of armor kits. However, Emil's operator shoulder pad was a shop item. But we don't know about the security shoulder pads. They were supposed to be on the shop. There's the knife chest piece attachment that was also supposed to be on the shop. There was a coating that was supposed to be on the shop. Several helmets and armor sets that were all supposed to be on the shop. And none of them got added. There was like maybe 1 or 2 Mark 7 related bundles or weapon coating bundles, whatever. There was one with a forklift weapon charm that was never added either. Don't know where any of that stuff's gone. There was even a Tenrai bundle that was never released. I don't know what's going on there because now the Tenrai event's not going to come back. So is that armor just never going to be added? There's been no explanation. So there's just stuff that was in the files that people were really excited for that's just gone completely. With no explanation. There's also new Reach stuff that's coming. I'm assuming the new Reach stuff is going to be on the Battle Pass. Granted, if cross-core stuff is coming during this season, then the Reach stuff being on the Battle Pass won't be as much of an issue. Reach stuff being on the store won't be as much of an issue. But I don't know. It's weird. It's weird. Not bothered about their thing. These I want. These I really want. The vehicle coatings look sweet, and the Warthog attachments. That one, I mean, you know which one I'm on about, but that looks sweet. I've seen some people say, like, it kind of sucks because they're very similar to the Rockstar coatings. The Rockstar coatings weren't available anywhere other than the US as far as I'm aware, so I do not care. I'm gonna watch it for 3 hours, but they look cool. Again, not that bothered about the banner. But I will probably still unlock it anyway. We are almost at 800 subs, completely unrelated. 2 away from 800. What the hell? I've seen the Tenrai energy sword skin that got dated, man. Yeah, it was like an energy sword katana. I like this weapon shop too. It was like an energy sword katana that was also just never showed up. And the Christmas stuff. Winter Contingency was such a lame event. Because it added nothing. It added cosmetics, but it didn't do anything as far as an event goes. But there was supposed to be Christmas armor that never got added. There was the snowman helmet. There was the reindeer attachments. The little reindeer thing that you wear on your helmet. And there was the Santa hat. None of that was added. No idea about that. That is supposedly coming out this year. Thank you. I appreciate this. I appreciate you subbing. Very much appreciate that. Brain's turning off on me. Yeah, there's a bunch of Christmas stuff that was caught. There was also some other stuff for the Tenrai event. Obviously, there was the energy sword. I don't think that was going to be a skin. I think that was supposed to be a weapon for the event that was just never added. I would have loved Super Fiesta as the Tenrai event one. Give us Jaeger's energy sword and Escherum's axe. They would have been cool weapons for the event. And then there was armor effects. There was these little... They might have been similar to the antlers, but as an armor effect. And there was also a little flag that goes on your back that were part of the Tenrai event. Not added. No explanation. Cut from the files. As for the other bundle, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with a lot of the stuff that they've cut. I hope we see it added at some point in the future. Because a lot of it looks really cool. So it's disappointing that it was cut. I really want the Mark 5 helmet for my Reach core. I mean, I want the Mark 6 helmet for my Mark 7 core. But it's just so crazy that some of this stuff was cut. 1 away from 800. We are 1 away from 800. But yeah, I don't understand why a lot of the stuff was cut. Especially the Reach stuff. Because it could have been added to the Battle Pass. They didn't add it to the shop, so why is it in the game? You guys can't hear the stream now, can you? Because I switched the audio source.
Just be a couple games. Now you have all
My bad.
That you can just jump in and play tons of fun custom.
We're just talking about Master Chief Collection now, though.
And that's been a labor of love. I know. I think we announced that like 15 years ago. It feels like, but huge shout out to the team and also obviously to the insiders and the community. None of that would have been possible without your sort of consistent help with fighting and feedback and just sort of continually pushing the team to evolve and improve the game. So big win there. Something else I want to give a quick shout out to.
Halo Encyclopedia. I want this. I really want this. I'm gonna get it soon. I can't really see them covering anything else that I'm gonna be interested about today. Maybe if they do, I'll do like a video summary on the whole stream. But if people want that, let me know. But yeah, let me mute this real quick so I can do my little outro. Okay. Been a good stream. We had a pretty high peak, which was pretty exciting. That come out of nowhere. We've had some good news on Season 2. We've had some great, tasty news for Season 2, and I'm very excited. I want his UNSC Jack. I love the Halo merch. The Halo merch is so cool. But yeah, great news. Can't wait to grind the new Battle Pass. As disappointing as it is that there's only 2 new maps, the 2 new maps look phenomenal. The story stuff is going to be great. I'm very, very excited for the story stuff. The new modes sound cool. I'm not bothered about King of the Hill. That's an old mode that's coming back. But Last Spartan Standing, I'm excited to play Attrition again. And then the other mode, Land Grab, might be called. Might be fun. But mostly the new Battle Pass, the new cosmetics. I'm looking forward to the store improvements. I'm looking forward to seeing any changes they made to the challenge system. And for grinding some of the good Ultimate Rewards. Cheers, everyone, for stopping by the stream. Yeah, cheers everyone for stopping by the stream. I really, really do appreciate it. We've had a lot of good news, and I'm now very excited. Yeah, some things about Infinite have been disappointing. I'm not going to sit here and say that Infinite's perfect, because it isn't. I love the game. I think the gameplay is phenomenal. I think the story is phenomenal. As far as the multiplayer goes, it has clear issues. It's very fun gameplay-wise, but it has clear issues. But it looks like 343 are working very hard on improving them. So say what you want about 343, but they are clearly determined. And I am excited to see where they take Infinite in the future. Season 2 looks like it's going to be great. Thank you all for watching.